What's up, world? It's Cecilia. I'm not usually here. I just got noped by Gail / my mother, but I'm just gonna keep going. So, yeah, I heard you have some questions for me since I'm guest starring. Oh, the cat is currently pushed the doors open. That's pretty funny, actually.
Greetings, everyone. That is indeed the voice of the oldest Manley. She does still exist, though we often don't hear from her on this podcast.
I'm kind of too cool for them, but it's okay. Really, they're too cool for me.
All those things are true at the same time, if you can work that out. It's a paradox. But it is good to be in the holiday season. Happy holidays to all of you. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all the things. We just want to give you some updates on how things are going here. We are super excited to have the whole family together for Christmas. And we have lots of things that we just wanted to let you know. As is our custom, what is life like in New York? That is our goal, to fill you in on such things. Cecilia.
Yes.
Have you ever watched the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade?
I have. I'm usually in it for the Broadway performances out front of the Macy's flagship store.
Yeah, well, check this out.
What?
Your mother and I attended the parade and are kind of now a big deal.
No way.
We're veterans.
We are veterans.
Veterans.
That's right. I made eye contact with Jimmy Fallon as he went by on a float. And he made eye contact and gave me the cool guy nod.
No, you're basically best friends now.
We are indeed BFFs.
That's the guy equivalent of like exchanging friendship bracelets. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So we did attend the parade.
Attended. Did the girls attend with us?
No, Evangeline and I were smart enough to not get up early, and we stayed at home and sat on the couch in our pajamas and drank hot chocolate and ate junk food.
If anybody watched the parade this year, you saw that the weather was optimal. It was literally the best conditions anyone could have asked for.
This is Gail being sarcastic.
For
the record,
I'm being serious. It was the best conditions ever.
It was rainy and cold.
It was.
For the record, Gail.
It wasn't the cold. The cold wasn't bad. We could have dealt with the cold.
Yeah, no, it was rainy.
It was the
cold.
rain.
Probably kept the crowd away, except for us.
Yeah, boy, it worked out. So, do you want to tell?
Yeah, you can talk about it. I just want people to know, in case they're wondering, Gail is, in fact, eating once again during the podcast.
That's because we have a Trader Joe's by us.
Proper podcast etiquette. What is she eating today, you ask?
We have a Trader Joe's right by us, and I want to brag on that.
It's true.
Everybody's all like, why'd you move to New York? Why would you move to New York?
Just for Trader Joe's.
Literally, there's a Trader Joe's. I get on the subway, I ride to Trader Joe's, and I buy all the Trader Joe's delights.
Mint dark chocolate mini stars.
That's
is
right.
Gail's snack of choice at this moment.
Well, I mean, right now.
Shout out Trader Joe's cheese puffs. Those things are epic.
Listen, they're not sponsoring this. So
Cecilia goes to Georgia Tech because there's a Trader Joe's nearby.
Yeah.
It's super close, and I get to drive and do a big grocery haul.
Yeah, there's no driving or big grocery hauls for us. Except, wait, should we even talk about trying to buy for Thanksgiving, Christmas? Wait, what holiday is it? Christmas.
We just passed that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
I almost got stuck in the turnstile of the subway because of my grocery bags.
That was
wait. We were talking about Macy's Day Parade. It was really cool to see. And because the weather was so terrible, we went at like 9 or whatever. We did not get there early, but because the weather was terrible, nobody wanted to be there. And we were like 3 people away from the barricades. And so we got to see so much of it. And it was way cool. It was freezing and soggy and terrible, but it was real cool.
It was better than I expected. I'll be honest. I was not expecting much out of the whole thing, and it was more fun than I was anticipating. We saw
It was fun.
Gabby's Dollhouse float. I mentioned that.
How do you remember that? What about Snoopy?
Well,
Snoopy,
we saw
the OG, Snoopy.
Yeah, the Snoopy float is the longest running float.
No.
We did learn that.
He's had the most appearances.
That's what I'm talking about. He's been there the most. And then I mentioned that, we're now friends with Jimmy Fallon. I did recognize him. And there was some hip hop rap guy that I also befriended who was on a float, and he and I also made eye contact.
Sure. But we also saw the Hallmark Channel float.
True.
Shout out Jenna Claire Mason and Jonathan Bennett. Jenna Claire Mason is the longest running Glinda on Broadway.
Galinda.
No, Glenda by the end.
Anyway,
Galinda.
that's some reference I'm not cool enough to understand. But what I do know is that the Thanksgiving Day Parade was fun. So that was sort of the beginning of our holiday season here in New York, was the Macy's Day Parade. Cecilia was here for that too. So she and Evangeline drank hot chocolate, as she said, and hung out here. But even better than that, as we got into the week before Christmas, much to our delight and surprise, we got actual snow here in Manhattan.
It wasn't even like the snowpocalypse snow in Savannah from whatever year that was, 2017.
Irma.
2017,
No, that's a
2018.
No, it was that year of Irma.
Oh, 2017, 2018, whatever it was. Like, I hear that was weak sauce snow. I mean, it was kind of crazy snow for
That was pretty good
for
snow.
Southern-born Cecilia.
Yeah, this no, we got. I mean, it wasn't much more than that here. Apparently, they don't get a ton of snow here in Manhattan, and this was, somebody told me, the first time they've had snow this close to Christmas in like 15 years. But it was probably 2 or 3 inches of snow. So we got to make snowballs. We made a little tiny snowman.
Snowball fights.
Which
was amazing. And it made me realize I needed to order waterproof gloves for Evangeline, because Savannah gloves, which are basically like knit non-waterproof gloves, not so good for the snow.
Also, it turns out that Christmas in New York is not nearly as cute or romantic as like Hallmark Channel or Home Alone makes it look.
How could it be?
It's very cold and it's very wet. And it turns out playing in the snow gets you wet. And it's not fun. Cold. And it's not cute.
Skating at Bryant Park is beautiful and amazing. How much fun was it when the wind chill was 11 degrees, Cecilia?
It was super fun if you enjoy not being able to feel any of your extremities and worried that your nose might fall off.
Yeah, it was
then
fun.
It was super duper.
For those not familiar with it, Bryant Park is like a pretty famous park. It's right by the flagship New York Public Library in Midtown.
See Day After Tomorrow for all you younger-ish folks.
Oh, yeah.
Or
flashback
younger?
15 years.
15 years?
Yeah.
Day After Tomorrow. Just watch that and you'll understand the New York Public Library reference.
Yeah. So it was fun. We did go ice skating there. It was a wind chill of, like Gail said,
11.
Something like 11. That may have been the air temperature. It was cold out, whatever it was. But there was still snow on the ground, so we did get to do snow stuff. We got to teach Evangeline the very valuable lesson of avoiding the yellow snow, which is
true story. That is incredibly valuable.
Something everyone needs to learn. But Evangeline, was out of her mind happy about the snow. And there's even a little hill near us where some kids were sledding. And we were like, should we go buy a sled? We're like, the snow's probably going to be gone. And
also, we have no space because it's New York and we live in an apartment.
That's true. If we bought a sled, we'd have to swap out somebody's bed for that sled.
Pretty much.
I know that rhymed.
Pretty much.
But yeah, it would be a trade out. Oh, another thing we learned about Christmas here is New Yorkers are very into real Christmas trees, and you buy them on the street corner.
It's so true. We were like, where? So we normally, because we're traditionalists and we just value the true experience, we usually buy our tree from Home Depot. I mean, it's a real tree, but we go to Home Depot to their Christmas tree lot and we put a lot of thought into this. And we were like, wow, there's really not a whole lot of Home Depots in Manhattan. What are we going to do? How are we going to find this real tree that we value so much? Because I don't do fake trees. And it turns out it's like a pop-up shop on every corner. Christmas tree lots. Or you can get it from Whole Foods. Whole Foods.
Yeah.
But, Whole Foods is like a subway train ride. And also people do take their trees on the subway. But we were like, are we ready for that level?
No.
We weren't. We weren't ready for that level.
Literally on the block we live on, there were some men with not American accents selling the tiny Christmas trees. How tall would we say that? It's maybe 3 feet tall.
It's about 3 feet.
Yeah.
3.5 maybe. I mean, it's a big one.
So I took all of 7.5 minutes, walked over there. And what I also learned is that you can negotiate the Christmas tree price with them. So he offered me a value.
It's the barter system.
Yeah. Well, it's negotiating. I mean, I wasn't trading like, hey, I'll, give you 3 oxen for that tree or something.
Or a child.
Yeah. So anyway, we did get a tree. and then got a few decorations. The tree, just to give you a feel for how small it is on top of our dog kennel in our apartment.
Well, because we have all the space.
Yeah, not a ton of space here.
Also, we got our tree 3 days before Christmas.
I think it was 2.
Because that makes it better. And it didn't occur to us that we didn't have any Christmas tree decor other than some sentimental ornaments and I think a star from Hobby Lobby. And so we said, let's go to the CVS up the street. That's not a pop-up shop like the Christmas trees. And let's try and find some lights. We could not find lights. And if any of y'all follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this. But we did not find Christmas lights. However, Evangeline, in her very creative 9-year-old mind,
Very creative.
found some light up Christmas light bulb necklaces
Gorgeous.
and said, hey, let's get those. So we did. And so our Christmas tree has 6 Christmas light CVS dollar store necklaces as our Christmas lights.
Instead of the actual lights. But you know what? It works. It works.
It looks good.
Yeah, we made that work, and we're not ashamed of that.
Merry Christmas.
That's right. This is just the way we imagine Joseph and Mary did it back in the stable.
Charlie Brown ain't got nothing on us.
It's true. So, but besides ice skating and then getting our Christmas tree from some Eastern European gentlemen on the corner of our street, which was a pretty fun experience. Some other things we did. They have a really cool holiday train exhibit at the New York Botanical Gardens up in the Bronx. We went up and saw that. I believe it's 175 different Manhattan and New York City, what do they call those? Locations, sort of monuments or something that they make out of like plants, and this actual like train drives around them. It's
Hey, where'd you learn that fact, Jason?
Oh, from a fun book called Weird But True, published by National Geographic. Yeah.
Evangeline loves Weird But True.
So
and we
fun.
found out there's a New York one, and her amazing aunt and uncle got it for her.
Yeah, so we've been learning a ton. Anyway, we saw this train exhibit.
It's amazing. Definitely worth coming for the holidays.
I'm not doing it justice in my description.
It's like you
but
think
it's better
like,
than you think.
Cute miniature trains. It's so nice, but it's insane.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
And it was cold out and it was indoors. So
yeah, and enough, honestly, like for us to get memberships to the botanical gardens. And if you've met me and Jason, you know we're not really like screaming botanical gardens people. I mean, I like a chainsaw, which I feel like the botanical gardens like frowns upon. You probably shouldn't bring a chainsaw. So oh, that's the laundry timer. I got to go. Okay, sorry. Segue.
Okay, so one of the things that Gail laments most about this apartment is we do not have in-unit laundry. So
Explain the in-unit.
So in-unit means literally in your apartment. This was one of the drawbacks of this particular apartment, which we like for a lot of reasons, but that was one sacrifice we made. Thankfully, She does have laundry machines down in the basement of our building, so she doesn't have to go to a laundromat. So she is now on her way to the basement.
Coincidentally, I have in-unit laundry in my apartment, and I, don't try to brag, but sometimes it just comes out. It's pretty great.
Yeah. The fact that Cecilia has in-unit laundry does really eat at Gail's soul, but the fact that I don't have to do any of the laundry is really the important thing here. I mean, it's the whole reason I got married was to have someone do my laundry for me.
Yeah. My mother's pretty much a trad wife.
Yeah. So anyway, she is now off. And for those of you who know Gail, how obviously spot on all of that is. But she is off to wrangle the laundry right now. But I will continue to describe some of the stuff we did over Christmas. And if you're up in New York City and you're looking to do holiday stuff around this time, really cool things. We went to the Bronx Zoo where they do this cool nighttime holiday light show. It's like more like exhibits, I guess, but you don't really see the animals. They're like art animals made out of wire and some sort of material, and they light up. And I don't know. How would you describe this, Cecilia?
It's kind of like going through the zoo and seeing the exhibits, except the animals aren't real. They're made of kind of covered tomato cages, and Christmas lights. It was, and I'm sure you're imagining some sort of, I don't actually know what you're imagining, but it's not as ridiculous as it sounds. But they have an Asia loop, which was really cool. Has all, kind of the Asian kind of animals. There's the African loop with the cheetahs and the giraffes. There were some very, honestly, kind of grouchy looking rhinoceri, however that is. There was a beautiful flower loop. If you know me, I love flowers, so that was beautiful to see. There was an under the sea exhibit with whales. We weren't actually under the sea. It was just sea animals. It was really cool. They had some cool stilt walkers, which, I can't walk around on my own 2 feet without tripping and falling. So I can't imagine trying to do that on small like toothpicks. And oh my gosh, maybe the best part, they had like souvenir cups where you bought them and got free hot chocolate refills all day, which was kind of the bomb.
And by free, we mean you paid like $150 for one of these cups, and they'll refill it with the 38 cents worth of hot chocolate every time you go up there. Everything in New York is expensive, though. This is kind of part of the deal. But it was good. We got lots of hot chocolate because it was chilly out that night. And we did, again, get talked into becoming members. So it turns out if you join the zoo, the Bronx Zoo membership, you get free access to the other 4 kind of zoo things in New York City. There's another zoo in Central Park. There's one in Queens. There's one in Brooklyn. And then there's the New York Aquarium down at the southern part of Brooklyn and Coney Island. All those are free entrance to those places with the Bronx Zoo membership. So we went ahead and joined there because we really like the zoo. It was a lot of fun, and it was cool to see that holiday light show. So anyway, that's another thing that I didn't know about before I came here, but we really enjoyed that. We visited a couple Christmas markets. These are like craft shows, not the right word, but it's like little booths set up where people are selling all sorts of things, ranging from high-end stuff to, empanadas or something.
It's kind of like a bougie farmer's market, except the majority of it is not food. It's more boutique items. For example, at the farmer's market, I have myself saying it. The first Christmas market we went to in Union Square, we found this really cute shop that repurposes old books and makes them into clocks. So I got one of the Pilgrim's Progress, which was fabulous. If you know me, I love to support my local business. So it was a really great way to do that. Now I have a super fun decoration. I also found a shop that takes the pages of books and what's it called when you like imprint something on the page?
Emboss.
That is the word. They kind of emboss a quote from the book or a cool picture onto the page of the book from which it comes. So they also had a buy 2 get 1 free. So obviously if I did not buy 2, I lost money. Girl math. So I actually visited that stall 2 different times, once at the Union Square Market and once at the Bryant Park Christmas Market, where we did go after ice skating. And it's super cute.
Yeah. As you might imagine, I did not stick around for most of that. Somebody told me very wisely upon moving here that once you've seen one Christmas market, you've seen them all. There's no reason to go to more than one. And they were exactly right. In fact, I felt like once I saw 2 booths, I had seen them all. And so Evangeline and I moseyed our way on over to the hot chocolate tent, got some of that, and then shot our way on the subway, the Christmas subway, all the way back to our apartment while Gail and Cecilia finished making the rounds through the Christmas market. But that is kind of another staple of Christmas time here in New York City. We have not yet been, we're going actually tomorrow to Rockefeller Center to get our picture in front of the big Rockefeller Christmas tree. And then the present Gail wanted for Christmas was to see the Rockettes. So we will be going to see the Rockettes, and we will let you know how all that goes maybe next time after we actually see that. So that's a lot of the Christmas stuff we did. The church we attend had a Christmas Eve service, which was nice. It's small compared to where we were in Savannah at CBC. Just, maybe 80, 90 people there, but it was cool to sing some Christmas carols and pray and hear scripture read the night before Christmas, even up here in New York City. So that was a lot of fun. So we've been trying to make our rounds doing a lot of the Christmas stuff, I guess, is the point here, that's available in New York City. I'm trying to think, is there anything else Christmassy that we've done?
I don't know how many people will care about this, but I'm going to add my 2 cents because I'm a yapper. So speaking of Christmas Eve church, in the South, it's very common you get dressed up for Christmas and Easter, and then, the pastors will put on a tie for Mother's Day. So I, and, the women and even my dad dressed up a little more than the casual Sunday, a little more than church Sunday, typical Southern Christmas Eve Sunday dress. We get there and people are in like jeans and t-shirts. Well, the winter equivalent. It turns out that's not a thing up north. So fun fact, if you're ever up here for Christmas, it's not the same fashion standards here.
Yeah, it did seem slightly more casual than I would have imagined. But I think the thing that you got to remember is almost everyone here is traveling public transportation, and then walking like long distances. So I think people put a lot more thought into functionality over aesthetics in a lot of what they're wearing to stuff like that. They're like, hey, what's comfortable for me to walk in? I may have mentioned this before, but in general, you're getting between 20 and 30,000 steps a day here, just kind of doing life. So I think people sacrifice some of the, again, the look, the style for being able to get around, which applied to Christmas Eve. Caught us a little off guard. We were not expecting that. But anyway, it's all part of the experience up here, which we've enjoyed. But the people have been kind. We did learn, very funny, one of the pastors at our church is from the Dominican Republic. There his family is. And he was, just telling us the neighborhood we live in is heavily Hispanic. And he said, you just need to know that in the Hispanic community, Christmas Eve is kind of the big deal. Big party, Christmas Eve, staying up late, getting everything they can out of that. And then everyone sleeps in on Christmas Day in that community. So he was just giving us a heads up on Christmas Eve to expect that. So we appreciated that. I actually didn't hear a whole lot of commotion Christmas Eve, though.
I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, we have the typical New York, sleepwear kind of survival guide of, earplugs, a sleep mask, fans turned up as loud as they get. But I really didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, our apartment complex is pretty quiet for the most part at night. You'll hear a few ambulances, fire trucks or something occasionally. But over 4th of July, we may have mentioned this before, it got crazy. People, they get into their fireworks up here.
Weeks of fireworks.
The 4th of July, it turns out, lasts 2.5 months. I had no idea, but it was kind of crazy. So we weren't sure if that's what Christmas Eve would be like here, but it wasn't like that. It was actually pretty quiet. So all this is kind of stuff we're learning about kind of the holiday season here. And there's a bunch of stuff that we didn't get to see that we hope to in the future. People did tell us that a lot of the stuff you do going to the Met, the different art museums, whatever things you're going to visit, they all kind of look different at Christmas time because they get decorated or they'll rearrange some of the stuff. So we're looking forward to doing some of that we didn't do this year, maybe next year. Anyway, we do want to, we're going to sign off here, but we will do another episode where just hearing from Cecilia about how things are going at school and her health situation, for those of you who have been praying for her or asking about that. And in the meantime, we do want to wish you all a happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all those things. Anything you want to say before we sign off here, Cecilia?
I don't think so. I guess thank you for having me. Your Christmas present this year, listeners, is hearing my beautiful voice through your earbuds.
Maybe even more
on
than
this
once.
podcast.
That's the kind of humility we aim to instill in our children.
My humility is my greatest quality.
Excellent. All right. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye.